Hey, 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 welcome to the Weed Out, where we weed out the bullshit and talk about the nonsense happening in our backyard. I'm Spencer Fox Peterson. It's flying solo today. This is going to be a shorter episode, but wanted to update the community on what's happening in Northampton. There's a homeless encampment up at Lake Fitzgerald or Fitzgerald Lake Conservatory, or whatever you want to call it, kind of near the Walmart. And there's a camp there. They call themselves the Moose Camp, and they're unhoused and they have nowhere to go. They were slated to be evicted today on October 7th, 2024. And there was bodies there of local activists and local camp defenders in the way. So it looks, as for today, the sweep, the eviction, and no arrests happened. So that's great. None of that happened. The fear was these people will be cast out of the one place they set up some sort of community to stay safe in. Now, here at the Weed Out, it's a policy. We believe it's a policy choice that people don't have housing and that housing is so expensive. It's a policy choice. We value property over people, and that's why we're here. So I just want to say solidarity to the people that are standing in the way of the state, harming these people that need help. They're people that need some sort of leg up, man. Like, nobody gets there without society failing them in some regard. And there's a million arguments to be made. We could sit here and I could argue and counterpoint argument every single one, but I question the argument itself. Why are we arguing over people living in tents? I understand that there's safety concerns, sanitation concerns. Well, okay, so why is housing fucking put behind a barrier? Why is housing so hard to get? You can't get a job. You can't hold a job. You can't really vote very easily. You can't hold the bills if you don't have an address to mail the shit to. Then we're like, get up off your fucking ass. And it's like, that's not how it works. And we all know that. And it doesn't have to be this way. So I actually will be honest with you. I didn't know about Moose Camp when its existence. I mean, I know of camps around Northampton. I mean, I walk around a lot and I drive around a lot. So I'm familiar with stuff, but I didn't know there was an organizing effort behind keeping them safe. I happened to just stumble across it on Instagram. There's an account called all.camps.are.beautiful. All camps are beautiful. No more sweeps in Northampton. It seems to be anonymous. It's friends with a few of mutuals. So I saw their flyers and their posts regarding Moose Camp and how the community is responding to protect the camp. So shout out to them. And there's many other people organizing around this. It's not just them, but this is how I found it. I'm going to actually share the post that I saw. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can follow along. I'm going to screen share it now. And if you're not, I will describe what we're looking at. So here we got help Moose Camp keep their home. There's a little infographic there. But yeah, I saw this cool little flyer, hand-drawn flyer, all out for Moose Camp, Monday, October 7th at 9:30 a.m. Cook Avenue, Northampton. And I made I showed up there just to kind of get a lay of the land. And there was probably 50 people there. And I don't know what the logic is, but I can imagine it's rich people don't want to see this shit. Rich town folk don't want to see this shit, and they don't want to deal with the problems. And this problem is not a Northampton problem; it's an everywhere problem. Every backyard has something like this. Holyoke too. And so I'm just going to share one of these pictures. Quote: "We have no choice," and it's a picture of Officer Victor Caputo, the chief of staff for the mayor and the director of human health services, I believe, here. And these are the people making the choice. It's a nice little post. And then the next slide on that infographic is the Commissioner of Health and Human Services, Meredith O'Leary. She's available at 413-587-1214. M.O'Leary at northamptonma.gov. So if you want to reach out to Meredith, the Commissioner of Health and Human Services, She says they have no choice, but it seems like they're making a choice. Next on the list is Chief of Staff to Mayor Ciara in Northampton. His name is Alan Wolf. Phone number is 413-587-1067. Email address is awolf@northamptonma.gov. Next slide on this infographic. Officer Victor Caputo, Police Captain of Operations. Phone number is 413-587-1178. I love that it's really hard to find cop emails because God forbid there be a fucking, receipt trail. Fucking cops. But yeah, I'm not going to call him captain. He's Officer Caputo. Fuck your titles. But that's Spencer Fox. And the end of this infographic that caught my attention was the effects of invisibling homeless people and violently pushing them out of sight literally causes death at all times, but particularly in the winter. People are unable to get access to services such as hotel rooms, warming shelters, or access to medical care when they are shut away from their communities and snowed out. So while it is not ideal to be living outside when the weather gets bad, it's still relatively more stable than being moved around and staying in shelters. I don't know if anybody here has had experience with the shelter system, and it's different in every community, every state. I know I've personally never dealt with them, but I have a lot of firsthand accounts that people have told me, and I trust them. They're not always the safest places. They are very strict, and there's good reasons they're strict because you're housing people with, some have drug problems, some have behavioral issues, what have you. Think of all the variables that could happen when you're in a stressed out situation, such as being houseless. So the shelter systems aren't exactly safe. Add in other marginalizing factors, such as being a female on the run from domestic, a woman being on the run from domestic violence, or anybody marginalized. I mean, the list goes on, and it's almost never white guys that are in these situations, like myself. And that's not me making it up. That's just the truth. That's the truth of the numbers. And we can do better. We can have a better society. We do not have to accept this. So I appreciate these organizers at All Camps Are Beautiful and other local community organizers. There's a lot of overlap with like Demilitarize and just all the anti-fascist worker collectives around here. There's a lot of overlap with all the people because all these issues have a common theme, and it's hierarchical capitalistic systems. A system where we put profit on housing, and you got people with nothing you can leech out of them, profit wise. They're not worth housing. That's not a society I want to live in. Just going to be real with y'all. It's not a society I want to live in. It's not a society we have to live in. It's really unfortunate. And the reality is, people deserve better. We want to have safe communities. Well, pushing people in dangerous situations isn't the answer. When I was walking around, I've been going up there since I learned about it, just to kind of get a lay of the land myself, but as an observational person, I don't want, it's not polite to just go into somebody's home. And from what I can tell, the only issue that I could foresee would be sanitation issues. That's just life as a human being. I get it. So let's figure out some way to get some resources up there to alleviate any sanitation issues. Think porta potties, and we maintain them. This is like a good argument for public restrooms in general. So people aren't using fucking dumpsters as toilets. That's degrading to them, and it's just not great for sanitation overall for everybody's health. So it's a win-win, and the other thing I noticed, because it's on conservation lands, there's a lot of legalese about what's allowed on conservation land and yada, yada, yada. And it's you're not allowed to have a weapon in your tent. You're allowed to have a fucking arsenal. If maybe Massachusetts is a little more strict, but in the United States, there's more guns than people. And the people that probably need weapons the most are the people that live on the street, man. What are we talking about here? I mean, I have a house that's made of, concrete, 2x4s and brick, and it's fine for me to have a weapon because I got to defend this because property matters more than people. See what I'm saying? They don't care that you have to defend your tent. They think you're worthless. And the reality is we're all one step away from this reality that we could be in the similar situation. Think about if a natural disaster happens on a house, we're all on for-profit insurance and they won't want to pay out. We don't socialize any of these problems, and then we get left out in the cold because everything's controlled by private interests. Think private insurance, or private equity buying up health facilities, or there's a million reasons. The privatization and capitalization of this society is what causes these problems, and you can't alleviate by using capitalist solutions. And even if so, we've successfully dehumanized these people, and that's not okay. I see people that need a hand, and it's not me to tell them what they need, but it is up to us as a society to help with these issues. So criminalizing drugs, houselessness, all that stuff, it doesn't help anybody but oligarchs. And there's a tie between prisons to slave labor to labor being used by big corporations that are worth billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. And this is how it happens. And it's socialized. The cost of rounding these people up is socialized. The taxpayer has to pay for this, and then we have to pay for them to stay in a prison. So why can't we pay for them, for all of us to have housing? This should be a shared cost of life. Like this, food, housing, health insurance. We all need it. We all need clean water. It's a no-brainer. It doesn't give anybody a fucking leg up. It means you're not a monster. It means we're not monsters. Like this sick need of needing to prove your worth. Basic needs of existence. It's despicable. And then on top of that, we'll bulldoze your fucking tents if that's all you got, and you have to start all over again. What if they just got a job and all their shit's gone? All their next day's worth of clothes. You don't have a fucking house. It's not easy to clean clothes. It's not easy to cook. It's not easy to be nourished. It's your transportation is unreliable because it's either your feet or a bike. You hurt your back at work, it's gonna be really hard to fucking walk there. So it's just not necessary. We can do better, and we will do better. So I just want to get the word out on the Weed Out. Just want to get the word out to everybody that we can do better. We should do better. And if anybody has any questions or resources they want us to get out there, please reach us at theweedout@gmail.com or on social media. You can find us anywhere. Just go to our website, find our link tree. There's a million ways you can find us. Always feel free to reach out. We're pretty active on the DMs and all that stuff. So if you have any questions or you need to be put in contact with somebody that we've talked about on the show, that would be great. I'd be more than happy to help you. And I don't know. That's really it today. I just want to give an update and a little rant about the housing situation and Moose Camp in Northampton at Lake Fitzgerald. Please find people that are organizing on this on social media. There's a lot on Instagram, and if you can help or in any way, or just get the word out, share this podcast, share the posts that I talked about on social media. I would really appreciate it, because the more people know, the less things that can happen in the dark, and we can do better, and we will do better. So just keep weeding out the bullshit. I'm Spencer Fox Peterson. Catch you next time.